Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ASUS ROG Dream League Season 3 with myself, ODPixel, and of course Draskell here over on the casting panel. We're ready to get ourselves into the second game of the second series today between Game Online and of course Vega Squadron. And well, Draskell, we saw the IO and then Tiny gets through as well. We saw what Game Online could do with this, I believe, last week. They did win the game pretty confidently, even though they didn't have the best laning start, which seems to be the case with Tiny IO games. Even if they don't do well at the beginning, they always come back into it.
Morphling ban. Morphling ban.
I mean, the game on. I think they'll take it.
See,
yeah,
I'm like a prophet. Well played by me.
This is why we have you as the analyst here, because.
Or if anybody watched that game, they just ban Morphling because they know that's coming. I mean, it's pretty obvious. But yeah, I like the IO Tiny because it's something that's very within the comfort zone of Game Online, and obviously they showed that they're very comfortable with it, even after, like you said, pretty bad early game. Now they are up against Troll and Shaker, so the late game potential from both teams is already there. Like the two cores go great into like these very long games. The difference is that I think that the Wisp Tiny has more styles of play. So you can go for the backdoor, you can go for the rat, you can go for the gank. There's a lot of options, whereas Troll is basically just yell really loud, run at the enemy team with your BKB on, try to kill people.
Oh,
that's
seems
your game
to work
plan
as well.
Oh, it's amazing strategy. Like, it's good. It works well.
I mean, so obviously we've seen the Tiny IO. Now, if you're Vega Squadron, you're kind of expecting, at least from what we've seen them play with the Tiny IO, for it to be in the mid lane. Who do you put in the mid lane that's going to do okay against this strong duel lane?
You could go for your standard Lich pick just to deny a lane, but they already have Shaker Lion, so if they were going to pick Lich, it would have to be offlane Shaker, and then they could put like the Lich Troll mid and then Lion plus something else in the safe lane. But with the Bat pickup, they already have a lot of ways to deal with the Troll. You can just lasso, you can relocate gank him as well. I don't think the Troll's going to be making a blink this game, even though you might want to think about it just because you're against IO and Tiny, because being able to blink away from relocates is a really nice utility to have. But we'll see what Vega want to go for. Since Queen has been banned out by Vega themselves, there's a couple of heroes left who could still do okay, but I still feel like you might want to go for the dual lanes.
Spirit Breaker, I guess he's one of those heroes that's well, pretty effective for the most part, and nice against an IO Tiny in the sense that you can force the aggression and fight straight to the back lines of the team and try and dispatch the IO as quick as possible.
Maybe if Game Online don't go mid and Vega call that, they might just go aggro with Shaker, Lion, Troll. Because if it's just like a Wisp Tiny safe lane, it's not really that good. Like, it's only good mid because that's usually the matchup where it's supposed to be either a 1v2 or potentially a 1v1, right? And then you force the enemy team to react to your picks, which is considered a good thing. But the Wisp Tiny lane itself really isn't that strong. So if you pick anything that matches up well, heck, they could even put the Shaker and the Troll mid, and that would be good enough, you know? Or, like, I'm only saying that because I imagine the Spear Breaker will probably be off lane. So Mag will probably play Spear Breaker, and then you can put Solo or something like that on the Troll, or I guess Pache Bashu was the guy who played it in the last game.
It was, yeah, indeed. I mean, like, fourth pick now for the side of Game Online, so they still need their support, and they still need their other core hero. I mean, PL is still in the pool. Could you go for it again, or is that just too greedy of a lineup when you've already got Tiny on the map?
It's actually not that greedy, as Tiny can actually do a decent amount during the early game. That is a gigantic piece of cake, by the way.
That is a massive piece of cake.
Is that Fonda? That's on the outside.
I don't know what it is. I
think it is. Because I'm pretty sure they had like one of those transfer papers or whatever that they used to put the designs on the cake. That's how they did it. So it's probably, it's probably Fonda.
I didn't even get to see the cake. Did you see the cake?
Yeah, I saw it.
What was it of?
I think wasn't it Zoidberg on the cake or something like that.
Oh, was it?
An old man? For me, it looked like Zoidberg because my eyes are terrible. So, whatever.
Pepperidge Farm.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Doesn't remember indeed. And fourth pick now, as we're still on for Game Online, they're ticking right down into their bonus time here. It's going to be the Witch Doctor.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, a hero that, well, would have been good against them, wouldn't have been picked up though with the Lion and Earthshaker already in the pool.
Dude, that is massive. Just put it here.
That's bigger than Draskell, that.
Put it here. There. Now no one can see me eating it. The dream.
Fantastic.
All right, so yeah, Witch Doctor is really nice against the lineup because you already have 3 heroes who are relatively close proximity, like Shaker, Troll, Spear Breaker. So you throw out the coconut, you let it do its thing, you get a good ulti off, and you know it can just be the end of the fight right there. Trust me when I say that a Witch Doctor cask can win you a fight. Like just, especially if you're fighting around stuff like Roshan, for example, which both these teams are probably going to be contesting fairly heavily.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
Yeah.
good spaces where you can make use of that ability and how strong it can actually be. Plus, if you ever get Zags, you just dance it off, you know?
I mean, yeah, and it's of course really nice, as you're saying, against the lineup in terms.
Man, that cake smells like really good, and we can't eat it. I mean, we could eat it, but it would be incredibly rude. Slasher's giving me the thumbs up. He's like, yo, this cake is legit, and you're not going to be able to eat it the entire game.
Oh, that's... I could do with some cake.
Yeah, let's not talk about the cake. This will be like our test of discipline, okay? We have to not think about
let's
or
focus,
talk
boys.
about the cake.
The draft. So Storm Spirit's banned out.
Yeah.
Would have been one of those heroes that would have had a nice time at the start against the Tiny Naya, but against once... Oh wait, no, hang on. This cake's kind of sending me doolally. Sorry, they're banning it from Game Online. So Game Online, would they have picked up the Storm Spirit? I don't know, because I really feel that they will just put the Tiny Io mid. But I guess it could have been the Storm safe lane with the Witch Doctor, but I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Storm safe lane isn't that bad. Like if they're expecting like Spirit Breaker off lane, you could very easily do a dual lane mid, Witch Doctor, Storm top, and then you could just have the bat off lane, and that would actually be pretty solid lane setup. Because what would end up happening is you would have to either put a dual lane in the off lane, or you would have to tri lane bottom, and either way that's not really favorable. And as they ban out Zeus, they're expecting the last pick here from Vega to be a mid. So they assumed that Troll was going to be safe lane farming no matter what.
Which I think is understandable, I guess.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. It's like, I understand why they would take out Storm in that situation, because Storm is actually really nice against this lineup, because then you have 4 heroes who can initiate from relatively long distances. Like if you relocate, so Wisp Tiny is 2, Bat can blink in, Storm can jump. So like the amount of picking that Game Online have would be insane. And that seems to be the style that they enjoy the most. It's like, how many different heroes can we get with kill potential while still having decent late game?
I mean, Vega, we did see them, of course, play it in the first game. What about picking up the puck in this situation?
Puck actually does pretty well against these heroes. Like you can easily dodge relocate ganks. You wouldn't want to lasso him. It's a good way to stop the Bat Rider from pulling back your Troll. Yeah, I like it. I think Puck is quite strong.
20 seconds left. Let's see what they go. I mean, is there anyone else quickly that you can think of could also work it very nicely in the mid lane?
Well, there's no Queen, there's no Shadow Fiend, there's no Mag. Those are pretty much the heroes that I would go towards right away. I actually think Puck is a great choice, but they're going to go for the Wind Ranger. Okay.
I guess as well, nice against the IO Tiny situation, you know, there's always going to be people standing very close to each other.
It also gives them more late game, where the Wind Ranger can transition into like Aghanim's carry, whereas Puck is kind of all in mid game, and you need to be able to snowball super hard. And maybe they're just not as confident with their capability of snowballing as they were in game number 1, and maybe want to have a bit more versatility to their draft in game 2. And it looks like we're going to be seeing a Slark last pick here from Game Online.
The Slark being the last pick. And
it's safe lane Slark.
Yeah, I was
like
going to say, you don't put that up against the Wind Ranger, do you?
No, you don't put Slark mid anywhere. Like, Slark mid is terrible. He's actually a horrid laner, like really, really bad. Because your Dark Pact is your only method of being able to wave clear. It hurts you when you do it. You're melee, and you don't have any way of jumping in without also getting out at the same time. So you need a good amount of farm to really be able to do anything on that hero.
Prepare for battle.
Okay, I mean,
or at least levels.
Why do you think they did go for the Slark? What does the Slark kind of offer that the team was missing?
Slark is actually good against Troll, because you can purge the Misty buff. He's very hard to lock down, and you also already have a Tiny on the team who's going to demand a lot of attention from your opponents. So unless you hard lock down the Tiny, you're probably not going to be killing him that easily, assuming that the Wisp can relocate you out of bad situations, or you're only really looking to take fights that you already know you can win, right, on the side of Game Online. So they're going to need the vision for that. But if you have to split your disables between a Slark and a Tiny, it kind of becomes hectic, right? Like, who do we lock down? Who do we try to kill first? And if the Slark gets left alone during the fight because they're killing the Tiny, which is the easier target, you run the risk of losing your Shaker. You can lose your Lion before anything really goes down if, you know, Jellapi has decent farm. And then you can be in a real bad way very quickly.
Alrighty, well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're into our second game here of the second series of the day between Vega and Game Online. Vega, of course, with the first win of the series. It's myself, ODPixel, and Draskell, and whilst Draskell tucks into his cake, I'm left with introducing the teams. God damn it. Anyway,
I didn't actually eat the cake, I just smelled it.
Over on the side of the Radiant, here we go. Let's go with the Radiant first, boys. Mag, he's going to be on the Spirit Breaker, Seam of the Slayer on the Earth Shaker, and it's going to be no one on the Wind Ranger, Solo on the Lion, and finally,
bottom.
9 Pasha Ibashu, in a bit of trouble here. I'll say a bit of trouble, well, he's dead. First blood
like
there going to your IO.
9 Pashu Idedu. Too soon.
I see what you did there.
It was awful.
That was awful.
Don't ever even acknowledge that I made that joke, please.
But well, that's a nice start there for the EO, and I believe, did that give him the old ball? Has he got the ball on his way out?
Yeah.
I believe he has, yeah. Straight up ball. That's a very good way to start there for the IO. And anyway, there is another team in this game. It's a game of two halves. And Drasko, what are we seeing from the Dire?
All right, so first and foremost, we're going to have our first blood-capable Wisp here, Pelican. Towards the jungle, we're going to have Excalibur playing on his Tiny. And towards top lane, I guess we were looking at the stack. Ha, I faked that wet boss. ROG, he's going to be playing the Witch Doctor. Going to have Jellypy playing on the Slark. And of course, that leaves Zinz handling the Bat Rider.
Okay, so we were talking about in the draft mid laners who do all right against the Tiny IO. Win Ranger should do pretty well.
It shouldn't be too bad. Like in this matchup, it's very hard for them to actually get a kill. Excalibur is blocked, but since there's creeps here, it's a little bit too much for no one to engage into, so he's not going to be able to get any meaningful damage. It's interesting because the Wind Ranger should be hard to kill, but if you get a really good toss, you could potentially do it.
Yes.
But otherwise, this lane's going to be bad. But we always see this. Like, Wisp Tiny always loses in the lane.
And then always wins.
And then always wins the game.
I mean, so against that kind of...
power shot.
Yeah, they're bringing Excalibur very low. Against this mentality, I mean, what do you do? What is the plan then? If you know that even if Tiny IO lose the lane, they're probably going to win the game. What's the answer to it?
Well, you just try to win the lane so hard that they have no chance of coming back. Like, that's the way that you play against certain styles of lineups. So when basically Unknown play their Mag style with melee heroes, that's also a situation where you just want to try to win the lane super hard, because Mag is not a great laner in middle lane.
Oh, mid lane? This might be... Oh, what a fissure. This guy with a fissure. Very nice team of the Slayer there, keeping the Wind Ranger topped up, and power shot will fly through. Bit of a rotation here as Lion comes in with a haste rune. Well, Pelican's going to be able to tether away, and yeah, he's not going to be able to dive that one, as he's going to keep himself alive. Excalibur hasn't quite got the mana for a toss, but no one playing around very low indeed in terms of health. But yeah, Lion's just going to head back down to the bottom lane. Farm so far. Troll leading the way, 15 CS, and Wind Ranger having a good time in the mid lane as well, of course, 13 CS as well. Top lane looks like for the safe lane, Slark not having the best of times here against the Spirit Breaker. He's able to zone him out quite a little bit. And in terms of Slark builds, well, I know that you're not a huge fan of the Midas, if that's what he goes for. What are you kind of hoping to see Jellypy pick up this match?
It does kind of depend on the game. I would actually say that in most cases, Midas is not great, but for here, because you have a Wisp Tiny who's going to be doing a lot during your mid game, and you have potentially a Blink Bat who's also going to be farming a bit. Like, going for the late game isn't terrible, because the Shaker is the only hero on the side of Vega who's going to be that Blink initiator. It's not like last game, where at like 15 minutes in, it was just full fighting nonstop. So I think you do have some time to really make the Midas pickup actually be worth it. But typically, I like to see like the Treads Aquila, maybe into Blink Dagger, maybe into Shadow Blade.
Okay, well, we'll see what he does opt for. And talking about the Blink Dagger, I mean, you were saying earlier the potential that the Troll might need to build one. Do you kind of feel now we see the full draft and what they've got to offer themselves, Vega? Is this a game that Troll needs to be thinking about the Blink?
It could be. It just depends on how he's going to play. If they want a 5-man, having a Blink is only really useful for jumping into the fight. But if they start getting to a stage where they don't know if they can take 5-mans and they start splitting up, that's when Blink becomes better as an escape avenue versus the Wisp and the Tiny. So I feel like it has a more multifaceted game plan if you're not actually going to be taking straight up engagements. But with their kind of lineup, I feel like their 5-man is still pretty good. So it leaves their own discretion as to what item he's going to go for.
Okay, and I mean, the Wind Ranger mid, we're talking about the fact that it is going to do pretty well against the Tiny IO matchup, and it certainly seems to be evident so far, 21 CS. But I kind of feel in the games that we've seen a Wind Ranger mid, they've never really ended up going that well for the side that has the Wind Ranger. But Wind Ranger does take a toss and an avalanche to the face here. We'll be able to turn and get a couple of clicks in. I mean, the Wind Ranger herself, where does she kind of fit into the draft as a hero, and why would she be picked up against this lineup? She's
actually great against Slark and Tiny in the sense that if you go Slasher's way, which I'm not sure how we haven't made that connection yet with a hero being picked, it's very hard for them to burst her, and with Wind Run on, she's pretty much immortal. Like, honestly, against Tiny and a Slark, you can't kill her if you can't burst her down. So that's great. You can transition into heavy damage later into the game, so once you get your crit, your Daedalus finished up, and then you go for BKB. With BKB and Wind Run, you're essentially immune to all forms of damage, right? So that's really nice, and I think something that a lot of people kind of undervalue when thinking about picking up a core role is just having that time where you can freely attack. And they're going to keep harassing him in middle lane here. Toss not going to land, though. Fisher back in return. Pelican taking a couple of right clicks here.
And will get himself back up to the high ground. But 5 minutes in, of course, still just 1-0 with that kill that they picked up on the Troll. But in terms of the laning stage, going very well for Vega off the back of it. Both Troll and Windranger comfortably sitting at the top of the net worth board at the moment here. And Zinz is now backed off from the offlane into the jungle, which is, of course, going to mean that the Troll, he's going to be given a lot of space now at this point of the game.
Well, I think that's the best case scenario for Vega. I mean, you want your Troll to be able to get to his lifesteal unobstructed and be able to potentially smoke in for that Roshan. Now, if Game Online fall for the same trick twice, I think it would be a little bit surprising if they just give away the Roshan for free, especially it being a Radiant team. Like last game, it's maybe a bit more understandable because it's easier for Dire to get to the pit and like get in unnoticed.
Pelican.
It'll land,
yeah, he's got a Nether Strike as well. The Bash will catch out Excalibur, so he can't get the Avalanche off in time, and he's lost his IO. We'll get the toss onto Spirit Breaker. ROG coming in and finds the Paralyzing Cast. Zinz in there as well with a Firefly Mag. Potentially in a lot of trouble now. He's going to be able to run away from this one. Is there a Fissure up on Seema the Slayer? There's not. No, he's already used it. So yeah, Spirit Breaker will go down. But now no one on Seema the Slayer. Maybe be able to find someone here off the back of it. They're going to look for Zinz on the back lines, and he's got another power shot. Where's your Fissure? There's your power shot. They don't even need the Fissure. So they do get a kill in return. They lose their offlaner, but they do kill the opponent's
They actually got 2 for 1 because they killed the Wisp at the start.
Yeah, that's a good point. So a good trade there for Vega.
Yeah, Vega looking pretty solid here in the early game. I'm a bit worried that maybe the Slark isn't going to be as impactful as they want him to be, and as he's saving a lot of money, my instinct is that he's going to be going for Midas.
Yeah.
And if the game goes like any worse right now, in the lane.
Yeah, indeed, very nice avalanche toss. Paralyzing Cast coming through. Fissure will hold back Excalibur and Pelican, but the bounce was there. Yeah. And Tiny is able to take the kill there onto the Windranger.
The Coconut of Dreams, ending lives. And they just freshly placed a ward, so I don't think he's going to have anything like that happen again. It was nighttime, so it's a bit harder to see those ganks coming, especially when you come in from high ground from the Dire Tier 1 perspective. But everything considered, I'd still say that Vega are doing pretty well for themselves in the early laning phase. Like their offlaner has 22 CS. Like that's pretty significant if you compare it to like the Bat, for example, who's still only got 13. And Zinz is still around 900 from his blink, or 850, something similar to that.
Yeah, Mag just trading right clicks here with Jalopy, and well, he's coming out on top. There's the Hand of Midas recipe, as you said. It's on its way out to the Slark, so it's going to be not an amazing timing, but it's going to be something that's going to potentially still be relevant, especially if the momentum of the game continues like this, where I mean, no one's really coming out forcefully on top. It's fairly balanced between the sides in terms of aggression.
Yeah, the Midas can pay off, especially on a hero like Slark, because getting level 11 in of itself is great, and then making sure you get past 11 to get your bonus duration on your Essence Shift stacks. Like going from only 15-second duration to 2 minutes is very sizable, considering how often Slark can fight with his ultimate. So you just go in, you hit a bit, you regen, you come back in, you hit a bit, and then eventually you're hitting so hard that the enemy team simply can't contest you anymore. And with the help of Shadow Dance, you can just kill somebody straight up. So yeah, I think the Midas will probably end up being fine. But if Vega realized this, they could potentially go for some punishment. It just depends, because Seema really needs Blink if they want a hard punish. Like if they really, really want to fight, you want the Shaker to get Blink.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a question of whether they do choose to act on it in top lane. There's a bit of a wraparound here as we do see the Batrider coming in. Zinz, he does have the Lasso, and he'll find it onto Mag, and this is going to be a very tasty killer for the Slug if he can get it, but now the charge just in time. Mag's able to get it off, head straight foot past Pelican there, bashing onto the IO. The Spirit's did a little bit of damage. He'll cancel it and now start to run. The tether on Excalibur going to help him try and chase this one down. There's your toss, and there's your kill. IO lands straight on top of the Spirit Breaker, and Excalibur able to get himself a nice bit of gold for that one.
You can tell how much more comfortable Game Online are with these types of heroes. Like just that play in of itself, like he realized that the Spirit Breaker was going to be charging away, sat in the river, Tiny was nearby to be able to blink, or not blink, but toss the Wisp onto the kill, and he even had the Spirits out for vision after that. So it's something that you would consider an obvious play, but he actually played it perfectly. Like that's when you know that somebody's comfortable on a hero, because he knew exactly what to do. There was no hesitation, it just happened. So yeah, I think Game Online are feeling pretty confident with their picks at the moment.
Okay, they get a pre-10-minute blink dagger now on the Batrider, so all very well and done. And now smoke up on the mid lane from Vega, Lion, Windranger, and of course Shaker looking for some action. Linus, of course, level 6 has got the finger available. Who they're going to go for? Well, Pelican would be a very easy pick off, and there was your IO there a couple of minutes ago, a couple of seconds ago, and he goes down. Lion finds himself the kill onto the ear. 3-4 now for the side. And now paralyzing cast coming through, won't bounce on anyone. So Solo's going to be able to walk that off. Mag with a charge. Is he going to commit? No, he's going to cancel it now because no one's trying to find this Witch Doctor, but Witch Doctor's able to duke it out, went to the south. And they did power shot to the north here, the side of Vega, so they won't be able to find it. But I mean, so Mask of Madness was the item pickup for good old Steve on the Tiny, but we'll talk about that later because it's on the bottom lane. He's found a lasso. In comes Excalibur here with the avalanche and the toss. And
that was a misplay. They gave him the tower. They should not have let him get the tower. Steve didn't stun fast enough.
It's still a killing spree though for Steve here on the Tiny, and that's not what you want to be happening if you're playing against a Tiny IO combination. And IO does of course have the relocate now, being level 6 here in the mid lane, which he's managed to find.
Yeah, I think the Mask of Madness Tiny is something that Excalibur has done with the Wisp combo, because we talked about like the offset of damage because of overcharge and the damage reduction that you get plus Mask of Madness and how fast you are and the attack speed that you get in top lane. This Slark gonna be in some trouble. Wow, fast reaction stuff.
He's going to pounce away. Nice Dark Pack. Nether Strike will fly through, but the Shadow Dance is there straight away. Solo looking for a stun, but he's going to whiff it, and Jalopy will be able to duke it out and get himself back to base with the, oh, the lovely finger there. The Dark Pack did remove the Hex, but it didn't remove the finger from his backside as Slark's down for 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much pounced immediately when he saw that Spirit Breaker. So he knew exactly what was coming his way. Unfortunately, it didn't save him, even with the Impale also missing. So, I mean, getting a kill on the Slark is great, but he has been left alone for a pretty long time. He's, in terms of CS, he's like 4th highest, but yeah, net worth, he's also 4th highest. So he's, even with his Midas, he's still kind of falling a bit behind. But that's just because Vega want to be playing the aggressors here, abusing their Spirit Breaker to force fights and get them kills. And I think that's definitely the right way to play.
You see now on the bottom lane, Zinx coming in. We'll pop the lasso in. Here's your relocate gank, and I think this is going to be a kill. And it is a kill. Batrider takes that one, and that's the power of the lasso into the relocate.
Yeah. I think if anything is going to be learned from this game from Vega, even if they end up winning, it's going to be don't give Game Online Wisp. Don't give anybody Wisp, ever.
This seems to be very good kind of all-round advice for teams in the draft, and yeah. Now with the avalanche and the toss, coming in, they're not going to be able to chase this one down. No one pops the wind run.
Oh no, he's not going Slasher's way. Please. So he's actually so sad sitting on the couch, he just like stared at the floor and was shaking his head. He's like, why? Why aren't you doing it? All right, well. I mean, Maelstrom provides its own benefit, like a lot of damage for multi-top lane, though.
Yeah, paralyzing cast will get a couple of bounces. There will be a stun onto Jalopy. It's going to get Dark Packed off, and now he turns his attention to Solo. We'll find the kill onto the line, and he might even be able to find Mag as well. There's going to be a shackle shot to Pelican, latching him to the tree line. Jalopy finds himself a double kill. Excalibur coming in with Zinx, and with the final punch will bring down the Wind Ranger as well. 3 heroes falling on the top lane, and 9-4. It kind of feels like Game Online is starting to take control of the game as a whole.
Yeah, they're starting to regret their decision to give away Wisp Tiny to that team. I mean, like you said, you shouldn't give it to anyone. Like, it's too good of a combination. You can do so much at any stage in the game that I feel like it's just one of those things that you never, ever want to deal with. And I think they're kind of realizing that now. It's like, man, if only they didn't have Wisp, we would have probably not died nearly as much right now. And given the fact that Pelican has had a fantastic game, like he's level 8 at 13 minutes on a Wisp, that is very over-leveled. And the Shaker, as an example, is only level 5.
There's going to be a Hex onto Excalibur. There's a charge following through as well. The stun just catches him on the tip there. And he does begin to lose some of his mana. He is fairly low, but he has got the backup of 3 at the side of his team. And Pelican's going to relocate him out. So Maggie's going to be running in a different direction now. We'll cancel it. The IO is, of course, going to return, but almost certainly with the Tiny, and they'll be ready to fight. I kind of feel it here in the top lane. There's going to be a pounce onto Mag as Jalopy starts to go to work. No, they didn't bring the Tiny back. Pelican came on alone, but the TP in from Excalibur, actually, as he tethers across the tree line. We're going to have a pause here from Lion.
Oh. I mean, that's not a good O.
Is that not a good O?
No.
Can you tell?
Definitely not.
It might be a good O.
I mean, his teammate is disconnected, so I'm gravitating towards no.
So who's DC? The Lion. Where is the Lion?
The Lion
he's still there. I mean, it's not like he's in a bad position. He can very easily turn this one around. Mag, is he? I think
he's dead.
Pop the avalanche.
There are varying degrees of dead, and he's
already used.
Yeah, but he's maledicted, and he's at like 40% HP, and the maledict has just been applied, so he is like ultra dead.
He's got the charge.
No, he's dead.
Is he?
I mean, he can charge.
I mean, the maledict's only what level?
Level 3.
No, okay.
He's dead.
He's dead.
Yeah, he's mega dead.
Do the other side of Vega look to fight into this, or do they just get the hell out?
They've already fissured.
Yeah.
So there's no way they're going to be able to engage this. Like, Seema uses fissure and pretty much only hit the Wisp, which is like the least valuable hero to fissure. And the rest of this team fight is probably going to be going the way of Game Online. And I wouldn't even go as far as to say that we're likely going to be seeing a Game 3. Like, I think they're actually that far behind.
Really?
Yeah, because of the lineups. Like,
they've still got a troll who's been farming a lot.
Yeah,
top of the net worth, but
it's so easy for Game Online to control the game with their heroes. And by the way, there is cake. I hadn't eaten it. I just would like to point that out. Owen, I saw you eating cake during the cast.
I did have a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
It's good.
All right.
It's very good stuff. It's got like this creamy stuff in. Probably cream.
Probably. I'm not a pastry chef.
Test it. Just so you guys at home know how it is.
It's good though.
It's got custard in.
Can't you do like a full culinary, like, what kind of flavors are you getting
not that
here?
Good.
But you're British.
Tastes nice.
It's okay. Come on.
I'm British. It tastes bloody nice.
All right. Bloody nice. That's high praise. All right, here we go.
We got the unpause. We're going back in. Spirit Breaker. You were right, Draskell. He did
Mega
die.
dead.
And we're gonna have a second
he disconnects
pause.
again.
Lion, a little bit distressed that he lost Spirit Breaker in that fight.
Yeah, I feel like he might have just considered there's no life worth living without Mag. Like, I'm pretty sure they're good friends. Maybe after seeing him fall in battle, it was just, it was too much for him. You get like PTSD, you know? How many times do you have to watch your friends die, you know?
It's not nice. I mean, I never kind of feel that way in a game of Dota with your friends. If your friends die, you're just like, idiot. You never feel sorry for them.
Like, why are you feeding? Stop giving them money.
I kind of feel, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That was so bad for you. Just, oh, idiot.
Yeah.
But 10-4.
Yeah.
Percentage chance of Vega pulling this one through in your mind now.
God. I'd say it's like 70-30 in favor of Game Online.
Yeah.
The problem that they're going to run into is between the Slark and the Tiny, they're just not going to have enough disables to kill them because their damage output isn't high enough right now. That Tiny has 1,500 health on int treads.
That's not bad, is it?
It's a lot. And that's why I was kind of concerned after seeing the Wisp and the Tiny. They pick up like Lion and Shaker. Sure, pretty good heroes in their own right, pretty good disables. But the Shaker needs Blink. Like, he needs Blink to be able to function.
And how close is he?
Not even in the ballpark. He's 2,100 gold away. Well, 2,123 gold away, to be precise.
That's a lot of gold. And, well, Shadow Dance for Jellyby trying to close the gap. He might be able to find Seema. Pops the Dark Pact and he will back up. And, Shackle Shot will latch onto Excalibur. Can they follow this one up? They've got a finger and they've got a Fissure. I think the Fissure didn't actually catch him there. The damage, was it? I think it was just a bit off center. A little bit to
I think it hit him.
Did it hit him? But Jellyby comes in anyway. Finds himself one go. Maledict onto two. Very nice Maledict there. Solo's going to pop. And no one's trying to fight through it. Trying to find Jellyby, but he takes a toss to the head. He's got Maledict on him. He's dead. Double kill here for Zeroji. 4 heroes down on the Radiant. And,
all right, it's like 80-20 now.
Okay. And they might get Roshan though.
Yeah, I mean, this is helpful. And they haven't lost any towers yet. But against a Wisp Tiny, the only thing that I consider towers are just gold that you're going to eventually claim. Like, it doesn't matter how bad the Wisp Tiny is doing, they will get your tier 1s.
There was a charge onto Excalibur, but it does get cancelled. They just want to get double shot.
God, they're even going to the pit. They know, they know.
Jellyby, he jumps in. Zeroji there with the paralyzing cast. Oh, Roshan, he's doing Pashu Bashu in it with these bounces, and well, Troll, he can't run anywhere. He goes down. It's a killing spree for your Witch Doctor. And will the side of Game Online say, well, okay, we'll finish off the Roshan, and it could
Did I say 80-20?
Hey, what are we on now?
We're on like 90-10.
90-10.
Yeah.
90, that's old Lion. Lion. He wants to try and get nice little stun.
Okay,
Excalibur's fairly low. Echo Slam onto the Witch Doctor does kill him. Excalibur, he's got the Aegis though. Will get hexed up. The Aegis is popped. And Zinch trying to go on solo. We're going to see Pelican just sit there and die here to the focus fire. Excalibur's back, gets bashed by Mag, who's flying through onto Zinch with the charge. We'll get the bash onto Zinch, so they managed to bring 3 heroes down. Witch Doctor did buy back. Jello-P finds the kill onto the line though. At 15-7, I mean,
they got a couple of kills.
Yeah, slipping up a little bit.
But they lost their troll. And they only killed supports.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it was not a total disaster for the side of Vega.
Spirit Breaker. Oh, he's fine. He's got an invis. In fact, could he look to kick something off? He might be able to find a solo kill onto Zeroji.
He's got his ulti. He could have actually gone for that. There's 2 people dead. Mag, why are you not going for that kill?
Come on, Mag. Where's your balls, son? No, he's backing out.
He could have easily stun-locked him to death. Like, hit out of stealth, charge, ulti with Urn, and he's dead. I don't know. That was really bizarre that he didn't go for that kill. He even had a ward. don't know. That was I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's seen too much.
Maybe.
Maybe he's like, I know how this ends. I get counter ganked and I look like a fool.
I mean, the Spirit Breaker did fairly well. 4.3k gold. No, okay, he's doing okay for an offlaner.
I was gonna say, you just said the Spirit Breaker had 4.3k gold.
Oh, not in his pocket. No, that would be.
I was gonna say, how does he? You meant like net worth. I was like, wait, what?
Right? No.
Where did he get all that money from?
Solo. Not the time to suck off a creep. Jalopy finds himself for killers. Solo, right, he was a little bit far out there, especially seeing as they don't have a tier 1 on that lane.
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit of havoc right now for Vega. They're just trying to find their foothold in the game. Yeah. And I think a lot of this just comes down to the fact that the Shaker is a hero I usually love, but he hasn't really done anything. And it's not because that his play has been necessarily bad. He's only died once. So I don't think that team has necessarily been off his game. It's just, man, what is he supposed to do without a Blink Dagger against these heroes? Like, he needs a way to jump, and he doesn't have it. So they're relying on like the Spirit Breaker to get a really nice charge, but there are so many ways to stop him from getting a charge into the fight. Like, you can Flame Break, you can throw a Cask, you can Avalanche, you can even toss, and here comes a relocate.
Yep, indeed, onto Mac to follow up the lasso. Mac will get the charge off and might be able to escape this one. Looks like you're willing a finger onto Tiny, and they'll be able to kill the IO as well. Since he's trying to get out, but with the ranged attack from Troll and the power shot to finish it off there. Double kill for no one, and well, that all went to pot very quickly.
Mag got away with like no health there, by the way. Had that been anyone else but the Spirit Breaker, that gank would have had 100% success rate. It's the only hero on the team who can survive that amount of damage. Even the Troll would have died to that. But Spirit Breaker has an insane amount of health. He's got 2.4 strength gain and Ogre Club and Strength Treads. So he is the only hero who would have lived. So in a way, that was a bit unfortunate for Game Online that they actually relocated on that.
I mean, I guess the thing is as well, though, even if Game Online kind of throw away a gank like that, they've still got the Slark who's just farming.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really big mistake. Like, 3 kills going the way of the enemy is never something that you're going to be happy about. But they still have a lot of wiggle room, I feel.
Yeah, Jalopy at the moment sitting at the top of the net worth, has a Shadow Blade, 2.3k gold in his pocket as well. I mean, on top of the Shadow Blade now, you just kind of decide to build up the stats, go for something like a Skadi, or what could he be thinking about?
I think Scotty is the go-to here. You need some health. Like 1100 HP is not much, and that's with Strength Treads on. So if he doesn't have the HP to live through like a Shaker combo or something like that, or getting shackled and fingered, then he's not tanky enough. Not even close.
Well, we're going to see Troll closing in on the BKB. He has the Mithril Hammer and the Ogre Club. Just about, got about 1100 gold before he picks off the rest.
Mag casually ults an illusion. Oh, no big deal.
Nobody saw that. We didn't hear. Rappers didn't see it, so it didn't happen. It didn't happen, but oh yes, indeed, the ult is on cooldown. It's a bit awkward, but 16 to 10. I mean, what's the game plan here? Do Game Online need to worry about keeping the pressure on, or do you feel like be quite comfortable in just sitting back and farming?
I think you can go late game with this composition. Like, sure, the Wind Ranger is going to get items. I think he might be going for a faster BKB, like BKB Maelstrom, and just try to sit there and just focus fire the Tiny to kill him that way, which is still okay. And he'll probably go for a later Ags, I guess. Because against their heroes, having BKB earlier is great because it negates a lot of the Slark's damage. And we also talked about kind of the invulnerability factor of having Wind Run and BKB active. So being able to sit there in the fight and just deal your damage from Focus Fire is still really strong. But we'll see. Yeah, he does buy the Mithril Hammer. Okay, cool. He is going BKB. And Slark looks like he's also heading for that Midas that we kind of expected as well. Or not Midas, Scotty.
Scotty.
I saw the Midas and I thought Midas and I was like, no, he already has one.
Second Midas, that would be.
Double Midas.
Double greed. But well, Shaker just sitting in the mid lane. 600 gold on the way to the Blink. It's not going to be the quickest, but I'm sure we'll get it eventually. Talking about Blink Dagger pickups, though, Lion himself, he's on 1900 gold, so he's going to have it fairly soon for the team.
Yeah, that's really huge. Like, the Lion getting Blink is great. The Shaker is still so far. Like, I think maybe I have overemphasized how important it is for him to have Blink this game, but it really is so unbelievably good against their team. Like, just being able to be in a position to throw out a fissure when the relocate comes in, or being able to blink into position to stop a death ward from being channeled, you know, getting a nice echo. Those things are game winning, and he just doesn't have the opportunity to do it because he doesn't have the farm.
Jalopy at the moment on the top lane with the Shadow Blade, just seeing if he can find a jump onto Lion, but Lion keeping it cool, keeping it safe. Sticking closer to the tier 2 this time, Solo not coming out. And yeah, 100 gold away from his Blink Dagger. Wants to be very, very careful. He's going to come out into the lane now. What's Slark? Is he going to go in for this one? I think he's just waiting for the Shadow Blade to come back off cooldown, so he won't go back in for it as of yet. heads towards the mid lane, but there is still a tier 1 here, of course, and Mag and No One do stand strong here as well. So it'd be hard for Jellypy to find a pick off as of yet. And Lion has managed to secure the Blink Dagger now. Wind Ranger just about 50 CS away from. Oh, hello. Well, that didn't go to plan.
No,
that wasn't the idea.
I think maybe Steve was just like, nope, that's a bad idea. I'm out of here, peace, and then just like ran
just
away.
Bailed on it at the last moment. Yeah. Well, that's a dead IO. That's
the thing is, they have such nice vision, but their relocates are not really doing that much at the moment. So this is like the point in the game where I feel like they should be getting a lot more out of their movement, and they're honestly giving Vega a lot of time to recover, even if they are farming. There's a 10-second BKB now on this Wind Ranger. The Troll also has a BKB.
Oh, nice lasso here onto 9 Pashi Bashi, but the charge is coming through from Mag, trying to disrupt the fight. The Willing Axes will get out on a lovely shackle shot. Focus fire onto Steve on Excalibur, and Excalibur on Tiny, in fact, will go down. And what a fight here for Vega so far. 2 heroes down, Tiny and Witch Doctor, and the tier 1 to fall as well. I mean, I was asking you about the Wind Ranger pickup. Once you catch the Tiny like that, he's gone so.
Yeah, she's great because she never has to get in range of Craggy. So Craggy has 300 AoE around the hero. If you're farther away than that, you are immune to the effect. So if you get a shackle and you get a good focus fire off, the hero just dies. Like, the damage output from Wind Ranger can never really be underestimated. And I'm really shocked, man. Game Online, they have thrown their advantage pretty hard.
It was
like a
3-man, 90-10?
Like 3-man gank into the woods. They all die. They don't kill a single hero. And then they lose a team fight like that. And they relocate accidentally without bringing their Tiny with them into the woods. Now, I don't know if that one was intentional or not, like the Tiny just saying, I don't want to go. But now they've lost their tower, and their advantage is slipping away. It's still, I would say, an even game after all of that had happened. So to think of how far Game Online were in terms of like net worth lead and experience lead.
Oh, Jellypy.
Here we go.
Coming in with a Shadow Blade on Seema, but as he catches him out, and Io's on his own again.
Oh my god, he didn't use Dark Pact.
Guys, come on, boys. Jellypy goes down. Io's just hoping to get himself back out of there, and it looks like he will.
He didn't.
So,
Dark Pact.
Draskell, what's happening?
322.
I mean, it really feels like Game Online is struggling to...
This Shaker had no money. Like 3 minutes ago, he was broke, and now he's got Blink.
Okay, boys.
And level 2 Echo. There's so much throwing going on in this game.
There's a charge onto it. He's on his own.
He might just be dead. Yep, he's dead. Well, there's no focus fire, actually. Maybe he gets out here. He's got relocate.
Okay, they've got a Witch Doctor coming in with a death forward.
No,
Mag is
he
there with
doesn't
the
have
bashes though.
relocate.
Nether Strike. He's looking for onto Excalibur, and they will find it. No, he goes for the Witch Doctor. Io will actually relocate. No, okay, relocate himself to hell. He's dead. ROG getting bashed up here. They're trying to chase this down. They pops the BKB. Mag charges onto Excalibur. There's been a lasso onto No One, but they lose the Tiny. They will find the kill onto the Wind Ranger. Solo still alive. Finds the stun here onto Zinz. He doesn't have the finger, but he's trying to right-click it down with Zinz. And Zinz, he's going to have to deal with this Mag. Spirit Breaker coming in, and there's the charge, but they're always up to the high ground. He's going to be fine for the time, but the time is not long enough. He goes down, Solo stays alive. It's a 3-for-2 trade, and it looks like they'll lose the tier 2 here as well on the top lane, Draskell.
My God.
Jalopy, he wants to give it some. BKB comes out here from Pashi Bashu. He wants the tower.
He doesn't have a TP. He might as well just all in. I don't think. Well, maybe the bash? The bash?
Oh, what? He doesn't want to man up.
He sees the Witch Doctor.
Yeah.
It's too risky. He can just run away. Oh,
Oh,
relocate.
there's your relocate. He has got the Whirling Axes. Doesn't have the BKB though, I guess.
He's so fast. Teammates on the way. Has Fissure. Maybe can turn.
Ooh, it's just going to be a blocking off Fissure. Doesn't want to follow it through.
I don't know. Did they even get the deny? Nope, they didn't. The tower died to the Radiant, so they even get the gold from the tier 2. I don't know, man. Like, Game Online, I thought it was really hard for them to lose this game. Turns out I was wrong.
I mean, look at the graph, man. It's straight up now to 7.5.
Yeah, but it wasn't just the fact that they were leading on net worth and gold. It was like how good their lineup is at so many different things. Like, usually the team who has an advantage is supposed to have an advantage at that point, just comprised of their lineup and like their decisions in the early game. But their lineup is so good at every stage that having a lead with that kind of team usually means you just crush, you know, you snowball.
Oh, Solo. He blinks away from Excalibur, doesn't want to give it some. There is a Wind Ranger about, and an Earthshaker, they wanted to follow it through. Wind Ranger, what's she doing in terms of items? Going for the Aghanims now in the build.
Yeah. I mean, the Aghanim's a little bit later. I think with the way that he built it, it still worked out okay.
Okay.
Because the Maelstrom gave him a bigger damage boost than he would have had at an earlier stage in the game if he had gone for Ags.
Yes.
But Ags also probably would have made him die less because he would have had the point booster and the Ogre Club, so he wouldn't have maybe died to some of the earlier things that happened to him. And maybe that gives him enough farm to get Aghanims and deal damage that way, which is the ulti. So it's hard to say. I'm sure Slasher will think that his way is the best because Slasher's way is the only way.
Mid lane. Going to be a pounce onto Mag. He's got the charge available. He'll stand there for the time being. Echo Slam from Steam the Slayer actually is not going to catch Jellapi. Fisher will do, and Chantone as well, but it's going to be Dark Pacted off there, the passive stun. Jellapi will be charged upon now. Oh, stands for the Nether Strike, and on the Dark Pack pounce. Look at that go. What a zip zapperoo. He's out of there, but Tiny. Well, I believe...
He died to a double damage focus fire.
Oh.
That's some pain.
That is a lot of pain.
And his Wisp didn't relocate him back. Maybe he just wasn't there.
I mean, the Wisp Tiny place, it doesn't seem like they've been there this game.
I don't know, man. Like, they even had really good warding for it.
And ROG, he's all alone here. I mean, 9 Pashy Bash is coming in. He's getting being charged as well from the Spirit Breaker. Pops down a Death Ward to signify his own death.
Are they just messing with him? They're just messing with him.
Yeah.
Oh, they just wanted Spirit Breaker to be close for earn charges. Never mind. They're just team players. What a bunch of guys.
What a bunch of boys.
Like, how
Jellapi might find the Wind Ranger here. Wind runs off, not available for a few seconds. Gets a nice shackle. Not going to be enough, though. He does go down.
He did buy his whole Aghanims, though, before he died, so he didn't really lose much gold.
No.
Yeah.
Well, there's a charge. They want to keep fighting here. They want to keep fighting here straight towards the mid lane. They're going in onto the IO. Is he going to dive this Mag? No. Doesn't want to go up to the base, up to the high ground yet.
He's actually really farmed, too.
Oh, hello. Hex onto the slug, but it gets Dark Pacted off.
Oh, that's a gem.
Yeah, thanks for the gem, boys. And Jellapi finds himself an easy kill there onto the line.
Yeah, well, actually, Zin's got the kill. But...
Yeah. Well, Slug's got his Skadi now. And he has got, obviously, the Shadow Blade as well.
Yeah.
I mean, 28 minutes in, that's not the slowest item progression.
No, I mean, he's doing fine. The Midas delays him by a couple of minutes, sure. Oh, Mag. Charge away, friend.
Oh!
Not enough. It took a really long time for him to charge something, actually. He even had, no, he didn't have vision of any neutrals. I was going to say, maybe that ward saw some neutrals, but maybe he just couldn't see anything to charge to. That is unfortunate. But now Roshan going back the way of Game Online. So like I said, even though they had a huge advantage, they're still doing okay. Like their team composition can do well at any stage. So this is the strength that they've drafted around.
And Troll's got his Skadi picked up. Now Wind Ranger back alive has got the Aghanims picked up. But it's looks like, I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything about this Roche attempt. Wind Ranger's coming in. Power Shot was scouted out, but all a little too late as Excalibur's able to finish that off, grab himself that Aegis. And Jellapi, looking for the Earthshaker. Earthshaker blinks away. Jellapi is going to hang around in the Radiant jungle. There's a few heroes about. Troll and Wind Ranger around the corner line leading in. And blink forward there. Finds the Hex. To follow it up with the stun. There's not going to be any Dark Pacting yet. Do find the slow here, but Jellapi will tether them, will pounce them. She relocated up the stairs there.
The old 800 range relocate.
So
it was okay though, because if he's assuming he's getting like maybe like fissured or something, that maybe the
IO, can he get this? Well, he's going to come straight back in, gets hexed up, and he's dead. Actually brought the Slark back into it. Slark is able to get the Shadow Dance and get himself out. Batrider will not latch to anything there with the Shackle Shot, but the charge from Mag, he's going to follow it through this time. He has a Nether Strike as well, and Focus Fire there.
The gem! All right, he got it.
We got it, boys. Tiny coming in. And, well, Vega, they'll come out. They back away. They don't want to stick around for the time being. Mag did pop the BKB here. And Slark has come a little bit out of the base. Solo looking to blink in with the Hex. I mean, a blink initiation onto Excalibur with that Hex here could do wonders here for the side if they want to go for it. Throws the toss out. Lion just trying to take away some of the mana here from Slark. Excalibur. I'll do what he can, but the Wind Run and the Focus Fire here from no one onto the racks.
Oh, no, the fissure!
Oh, no! A little bit unfortunate there.
The reverse stream.
Nice lasso in onto Solo, and Solo, he's going to get dragged back into the thick of it. Will get taken down there, losing the Lion here. Now you charge onto just the bottom lane. They're going to get themselves back out and just continue to push out the other lanes respectively.
That fissure. I don't know if they would have actually killed Excalibur either way, to be honest. Like, he has 20 armor and 2100 health, so maybe they wouldn't have killed him, but still, Seema.
Oh, Jellapi. He wants to find something. There is an Earthshaker here, but Earthshaker blinks up to the high ground and
He's got that spider sense, yeah.
He really does. I mean, we've seen him blink away pretty much every time that the Slark's nearby. And Excalibur has got the Assault Cuirass finish now.
His item progression still isn't fast enough, though. Like, he should have had, like, another item on top of his current farm. Like BKB or something like that. Like, against their team, he actually needs BKB. Probably be his next choice, I would imagine. They should be able to get this tier 3 uncontested. He's got his Aegis for a little while longer. Maybe they want to try to relocate on top. There's no BKB on this troll. I think he is dead.
Oh, yeah, Bashi's going to try and TP out, but the Avalanche is going to stop that.
Yeah.
And you said he was dead, and you were damn right, Draskell.
Yeah, I mean, when you split push against a Wisp Tiny and a Blink Bat, you kind of have to assume that eventually
the
you're going
return
to
kill
die.
potential here. There's your Echo Slam. Headshot totes him into the charge, and with
They
the final
were
punches.
expecting 2 heroes. There's no reason to echo that unless you think that they're bringing back the Tiny.
That's true, and I mean, on the side of the die now, 32 minutes in, it's not too bad. Witch Doctor has got his Death Forward Aghanims upgrade on
Yeah.
him. Charge from Mag towards the top lane. Gets cancelled straight away because they want to turn their attentions here to Jellypy that they have found. Pops the Shadow Dance straight away and will be able to get himself out. And Seema the Slayer links into the trees. You're going to be able to find anything off the back of that. Batrider at the secret shop. Mag with the Shadow Blade. Seeing what he can find. He spots out Excalibur. Is the follow going to be there if he wants to go for this kill? Looks like his team are very, very close by if he wants to try and kick off a fight.
I think you go for the Witch Doctor. Oh, maybe Bat too.
I'm going to go for the Bat. Bat does have the lasso available, so they want to get him out of the fight straight away. Finger there into the bashes. He gets brought down. Excalibur gets hexed up. BKB now popped by the Wind Range, and with this focus fire damage doing so much here against the Tiny. Tiny's trying to run, and he might even get away here. He's closing, getting himself away from this Wind Ranger. Turns around with the toss, and now IoT being in will be able to back him up. They've brought down the Wind Ranger. They do find the Witch Doctor on the side of the Radiant, but now Mag getting avalanched up. He does pop the Shadow Blade, and the pounce will get him as they do keep pushing.
And they gave the gem back.
And it's a 2-for-2 trade.
Dude, Seema's fissures are not on point this game, man. His fissures have actually killed his teammates, lost them kills. It's just like, I don't know. He trapped Mag there. He literally trapped him into his death. There was no chance of retreat after that fissure was thrown.
Oh boy. I mean, that fight, bearing in mind if it was even, they weren't using the Troll for it. Troll was not involved in that one.
Yeah, I mean, he's been kind of doing his own thing most of the game, which for the most part is fine. But eventually, like that team fight, they didn't even get the Aegis off the Tiny, so he still has it for a little while. And he's closing in on his BKB money, so say that Aegis goes away for the next fight, that just makes room for his magic immunity. And I think, honestly, Game Online are still sitting in a pretty good position with the way that they can play this out with the Wisp and the Tiny. And that's why I was like so sure that they were going to win, because they had a huge lead with a team composition this strong, that even after throwing that hard that many times, they can still fight like that and win. Like, I don't know.
I mean, it certainly kind of feels like it's coming back to the territory where
DD bottle?
The advantage for the side of Game Online is kind of evident, but yeah, double damage Tiny. That's not going to be something you want to kind of fight up against. The warding earlier for the side of the die was really nice, but now, obviously with the gems that have been banded about, Vega seems to be able to reclaim control of the map. There's not pretty much any vision at all out for the moment at the Dire. Bashu is leading the way with the old Q dance. That
is the ADHD, by the way.
Just, whoa. Wow. Okay. Is he actually going to be able to find anything here with this little ritual he's performing here in the mid lane? Doesn't look like it. Game Online, they're keeping themselves back. They know something fishy's up and they don't want to walk into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty common. You don't see anybody farming any lane. You're like, I wonder where they could be. We'll only show the hero that's very difficult to kill in the Slark, which is the right call. So Game Online making the right decision for that particular situation. And I think finally Pache has learned not to show himself when everybody's missing against a Wisp, Tiny, and a Bat, which is also a very good call. But all the towers down for Vega, and Game Online still have 2 to kill. So they have to kill the mid tier 2 and the bottom tier 2. And then potentially the next fight, like the big fight, is probably going to be around Roshan, because that's only like anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes away.
I mean, Slark, he's got a hell of a lot of money on him, 4.2k gold. Is this a game where Slark, or 4.7k now to be fair, I should correct myself. Does he need to get a BKB this matchup, or can he go for a more offensive item?
BKB is always great. Yeah, he just buys it straight up. Yeah. When the team is pushing your base like this, it's also way better to buy BKB, because it's a 10-second BKB for a very important defense.
On Tiny's got it as well now, so.
Yeah, this is going to be... I don't think Vega want to fight this at all. This is like way too scary. They haven't even seen the BKBs and they don't want to fight, which I think is the right decision. You can just look for a Roshan engagement, and plus, that's a DD BKB 10-second Tiny. Holy crap, please don't fight that. That's terrifying.
Solo
Radiant's bottom
is about to die.
Oh, blink.
Okay. Oh. Okay, no. Jinxed him. He's fine. Well, I'd say he's fine. There's the toss.
Nope,
Jealousy
not
comes
fine.
in. Incoming Slark. Okay, so yeah, he did die.
Yeah. That vision, though. Slark night vision is the only reason they got that kill. For those of you who don't know, Slark is one of the few heroes in Dota who actually sees the same distance during night and day.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
That's an interesting
That's
fact.
the only reason they were able to see across the high ground, because they didn't have a ward there.
There used to be more heroes that had kind of extended night vision, wasn't there? But he's kind of
Yeah, Luna and Night Stalker used to have a lot. I think Night Stalker still does, but I think Luna's got nerfed a little bit. And there was Meepo, who also had very far night vision as well, and his also got nerfed.
Alright, Slark coming in with a Shadow Blade. Looking for something here. Mag is going to back up alongside the Earthshaker. Heading into the jungle. Oh, relocate here onto 9 Pashi. Pashi pops the BKB and stands there for a little bit, contemplating what he's going to do with his life after it's taken away from him. There's your flame break into the toss, into the right clicks. Killing spree now for Excalibur as he brings down Troll. And Jealousy looking for no one here. Oh, look, maybe going to turn it around. Echo Sam Honey in place and
No detection.
He's going to go back in, Jealousy, maybe. No, he doesn't want to die at the tower yet. Hasn't got the Shadow Dance, of course, for the second time this fight. So keeps himself out of there, but all in all, they find a nice kill onto the Troll.
Yeah, and Roshan is actually on a quick respawn timer here too, so in less than like 20 seconds, he'll be up, and that means that Game Online have free reign. Troll's dead. He won't buy back for a Roshan defense, at least not right now. If he was going to, he would have bought back already. Maybe he's just hoping for a long spawn timer, because like a 2 or 3 minute spawn would have probably ensured that he would be alive, but this one's really short as we see Slark picking up another kill on the Lion. I mean, fighting into the late game, being separated, is not going to work. Like, Vega cannot split up. This is too hard. Like, you have to 5-man. That's why Wisp Tiny is also so ridiculous. Like, I think a Game Online's draft is like 10 times better in terms of what they can do, whereas Vega kind of just have to continue fighting.
Oh, well, here comes the push, and indeed Vega, 2 men down at the moment. Troll will be back in about 12 seconds. The Lion, he's still got a good 25 or so before he's going to be returning to the fight. Power shotting here from the distance. Wind Ranger making sure not to get himself caught out. Earthshaker, he doesn't, and he will get caught out here by the lasso. He gets bursted down very, very quickly. No one trying to get some of the damage through, and Earthshaker actually buying back here straight away, trying to scare these guys off the racks. Troll is back as well, and looks like Game Online will back up and maybe decide to head straight to the Roshan. I mean, do you think Vega still have a chance of being able to get there in time to defend it, or is this rush
if
on?
they leave now, they can. But if they don't leave now, then they can't. But the problem is they're no vision. Like, they can't see anything at all. They can't even see the Roche pit. So if without seeing anything showing, it's possible that the enemy team just fake backed and are just going to jump you when you leave. But there's also the possibility that they're rushing. So you kind of have to risk just leaving your base at this point. The best thing that you could do is just go smoke. But do they even have a smoke available? No, they don't. So they can't even smoke. They have to try to just run to the pit and hope that they can take a fight, but it's dead already. So yeah, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, or I guess a Tiny and a Slark in this situation. Yeah.
What you did there. Very good, Mr. Draskell. Jealousy coming in with the Shadow Blade, looking for a bit of a wraparound. He has got some cheese on him as well, and Solo is a little bit dead as the Dark Pat removes the Hex. He does get a nice shackle shot off though, no one, and Jealousy's going to be held in place for the duration of the Shadow Dance. But, oh, Death Ward here, Earthshaker is shaking in the wrong neighborhood there.
I think this is actually over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not looking good for any of your Vega fanboys out there at this point. I mean, you feel like they've just got to go into the next round and just ban out the Aya?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any reason to give Wisp away. I mean, no matter how confident you are in playing around it and saying, oh, well, this team doesn't play Wisp that well, it always seems to give people problems, no matter what. Like, even if you beat it, it still seems to be a long and hard game for you. So why would you leave it in the pool? That's just how I feel. I mean, I would ban it. But yeah, looks like we're going to a game 3, potentially. And also, let's keep in mind how badly Game tried to throw this. Like, Game Online,
yes,
they relocated into a 3-man death. They just completely biffed like 4 fights back to back, and they still win.
Yeah,
that's definitely, in my opinion, an outdraft.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Oh, Pashi Bashu, he's pretty far up here on the top lane. I guess the stances are ROG puts the BKB, and he just wants to find a kill. The Ghost Scepter is going to be the BKB's.
I mean, he's going for the rat. Can they stop TPs, though? That's the thing. Nope, forget TPs. They just want to fight.
Oh, Excalibur's getting low, and Mag here on the front lines. The finger not enough to bring him down with the damage reduction, of course, from the IO tether. He's going to be fine. They might lose no one here on the side of the Radiant. He's able to win run off that final charge. Mag with the charge. They're bashing them up. It's going to mean the Wind Ranger will get out. Top lane, 9 Pashi goes for the TP out, and looks for the Avalanche, but it doesn't connect in time. Troll is able to escape. BKB is popped by Jelopi, but he won't be able to find anyone, and a lot of action kicking off globally there, but no one actually going down.
That was really close. He did get the melee Rex too, which is more than I would have expected out of that situation. So the only reason Vega were forcing the fight is to buy time for the Troll to make sure that he could backdoor the base successfully, and they get something, but they didn't get the Aegis off the Tiny. So when Excalibur comes back, he'll still have 2 lives, and all they really have to do is go top, and then it's like, how do you fight against Megas? I guess they would have to kill bottom range Rex too, but that's probably not very difficult. You could even backdoor that, because it doesn't regen normally.
Slark now with an Abyssal Blade, and it's pretty scary.
Life is hard. They don't have everything they need to be able to lock down both cores, and that's the concern that we expressed during the draft. It's like, how do you stop the Slark and the Tiny in the late game? Because the Slark is already so hard to deal with on his own, and then you have a tethered Tiny who has like BKB and Mask of Madness and now MKB on top of that to be able to just punch the Wind Ranger to death. That point of having the invulnerability factor of BKB and Windrun is now gone, because the Tiny can just club you with a tree, and you won't be able to sit there and just focus fire him either. And if your BKB wears off, and he's point blank, you can get craggy too. So if he's running at you with 522 movement speed, and you don't have BKB, you better run. And even if you have BKB, you probably should still run.
Yes, it's... I mean, I kind of feel that Vega are totally out of it in the sense just kind of going on some of the fights that we saw Game Online do earlier. You know, there's still the potential for Game Online to kind of mess it up a little bit, but they're going to have to really mess up
a
now.
lot to lose right now.
They're going to mess up a lot of it now.
Yeah. It's no longer we'll mess up 2 or 3 fights, and it's like, okay, whatever. We can just come back because of our draft. It's if we maybe get up and go eat some cake during the game, we could lose.
Cake.
Yeah, cake is good.
Rascal. Yeah, Tiny got rid of his... looks like he got rid of the Mask of Madness. Was it to hold the MKB? I believe.
Yeah.
Which is at this point going to do a bit of a better job.
No, he just gets rid of treads, pops the Mask of Madness maybe, picks up the treads. Wow, what a player.
What a player here.
He's a tinker player. He's used to item swapping.
He knows how to do this stuff. Zinz gets Lasso here onto your Wind Ranger, and Wind Ranger is nearly dead. Actually, we're able to get out here with a Wind Run. Coming in now with the Whirling Axis, trying to go in on Excalibur, bringing him fairly low. Wind Ranger will go down to Jello. He buys back straight away. 9 Pashi Bash. He's trying to fight up against the ROG, but he'll get taken down. Excalibur now on a dominating streak. Troll buys back as well. They don't latch the Shackle Shot. They do find the Hex and the Finger, and the charge is there as well, but 4 stuff from back, bringing Jalopy down to the low ground, and now the cheese is popped. Nice Echo Slam onto 2, bringing Excalibur and Zeroji very low. Excalibur will die. He has got the Aegis, but Jalopy's already killed the Earth Shaker as well. Mag's getting very low. Zinz chases him down, will find the kill. There's going to be a stun onto Excalibur. 9 Pashi Bashu trying to go to work, but Excalibur puts the BKB. Jalopy pouncing forward. He's going to look for no one. No one with the focus fight just wasn't enough. He's dead as well. It's GG well played. As Troll is the only one remaining alive, and we'll find the kill onto the Batrider, but it's game over. And I mean, even though Game Online, it took them perhaps longer than it should have from the start. That when we saw the Tiny IO come out for these guys, we kind of knew that regardless of how the game goes, they're probably still going to win.
Well, they could have always won the game. That's the kind of strength that these types of drafts gives you. It wasn't just a Tiny Wisp, though. It was also the fact that they had Bat and Slark.
Yeah, Slark did
There
a lot
is
that
so much kill potential on this team, no matter where you are. You can always die. And that's why the late game isn't necessarily about how good you are in 5 versus 5. In fact, it seldom comes down to a 5 versus 5 engagement. It's usually like, how good can we push out the lanes? How hard is it for us to get ganked versus how good is our 5-man if we have to fight around Roche? But if you just continually pick people off, you never give the enemy team a chance to 5-man, that's the result, is you never get the fight that you're looking for, and you just get outplayed, and the draft is just so much more flexible than what Vega picked. So when Vega were owning in the mid game, it's like, yeah, okay, they had a lot of momentum, and I was like kind of questioning if they could actually win. But as soon as one thing went wrong, it just felt awful for them. Like they could never do anything after. It's just like the draft, ban Wisp.
I was going to say, we talked about, well, they should ban after the first game when, of course, Game Online lost the first one, but now they've won, and it's going to be Vega thinking seriously about the draft and the heroes to ban out. You feel IO, it's got to be in the first phase of bans.
I think so.
Yeah.
Especially against Game Online, because it's something that they're extremely comfortable with.
Yeah.
So a lot of teams, we talked about respect bans, and we're seeing like Mag being banned out by some teams. I think it was actually either this series or the last series where we saw it. in the first two. But if you're going to give respect to Mag, give respect to Wisp, because I actually think that hero is, in a lot of cases, just flat out better, like what he offers the team.
Okay, well, we'll see indeed if they do that, as we will be going to Game 3, of course, between the sides of Game Online and Vega here with myself, OD Pixel, and Draskell. We'll be joining you guys back in a bit, but of course, first to some commercials and then over to our host to hear what they have to say about the game we've just seen. We'll catch you guys later.